Yo, so today I made some very serious progress with BTD6 hacking and its future. So historically, there hasn't been like any good modability releases. So I mean, I've seen some people release like, oh, here's a patched game assembly, and here's some patched assets. But there's never been a really good way to change a lot of the things that matter. So I'm talking like map mods, I'm talking like new towers, new weapons, modifying existing towers and weapons. And I think I've got something that puts us a lot closer. So if you're looking right here, I've got X64 Debug open. And essentially what I've done is there's this class that there is an instance of every time you launch BTD6 that is pretty much like the root object of the game. So on it, it has a pointer to itself because it's a singleton, and it has the game model object, which has a shit ton of stuff, some other shit, game loader, which loads all the game data, so like tower stats, bloon stats. I think that's something Unity related. I haven't looked too far into it, but that's like the actual display and all these other managers. And so I've got a way to consistently find its address in a running process by breaking on the update method of that object and just yanking the pointer out of the registry, which I'm not going to show off here today. What I'm talking about today is this. And so what this is this is an application that attaches to an existing BTD6 process, and then based on some information you feed it in the code. So right now I'm just hard coding this. You have to find this with the debugger. This is the address of the game, that object I was talking about earlier, and from there you can hook onto the game model from the offset, get the pointer to that, and so it does a lot of memory reads, and eventually it loops through the Bloons array. And I'm just going to run it and show what it does. So this is all just reading the memory of BTD6. Essentially what this does is dump a JSON-like formatted output of all of like the in-game under the hood stats of all of the balloons in it, including the test balloon, which this is actually inaccurate now because the leak damage used to be very, very big, but might have modified it if you see that red number, and so you can see that it is actually updating. So what this means is I've uploaded this, links in description, all the BTD6 under the hood bloon data. I just yanked it out of memory because I was able to find those things, and the point is that it's not just balloons we can do this with, and this allows for, if I wanted to modify any of these fields on any of these balloons, I could very easily do that, as I'm about to show off, by popping the unpoppable test balloons, which I tested it and it actually worked. But yeah, I mean, so hypothetically this could be done with more complicated aspects of the game, such as like tracks or even towers, and like tower weapon attacks and heroes. And so yeah, I mean, this here is just a proof of concept that we can read and write like pure game stat values. But so what I've got here is sandbox mode, semi-restricted sandbox mode. I don't have towers unlocked, some balloons I'm missing, but this is actually surprisingly unhacked of a client. I think the only modification, boom, can actually pop these guys, the unpoppable test balloons. So that's pretty neat. If you notice, they don't give any cache. They're not very useful. But yeah, I mean, this really opens the door for a lot of crazy BTD6 mods that some might have even said in the past were impossible. And so, yeah, the link to this data will be linked in the description if somebody wants to like update the wiki with some of these more specific under the hood numbers. That'd be neat. If anybody wants to work on trying to get some of the more complicated things set up, like a better interface to do this, like my code here is absolute trash ghetto garbage. I just wanted to get something done before I went to sleep to prove that, yeah, no, this is the future of BTD6 modding. So this, but an internal DLL injected, and some sort of launcher that handles that, is the future of BTD6 modding. I think that we can probably leak the game model and not just the game, because I think there's an array of bytes you could search for that would find it. I need to test that. I might do a video on how to actually use windbg to find the game object. Basically, it's not very hard to do, especially if somebody shows you what buttons to press. It took me a while to figure out what exactly was going on. I was using the wrong kind of breakpoints. But yeah, no. There's a lot of BTD6 modifications that previously seemed very far away and impossible to me, that seem almost not too far away from what we've got here and what we've got now, just with the level of access to the game's internals that is now achievable. Because a big thing is, like, sure, you can change the memory however you want, but you have no idea what you're looking at. And now we kind of have a way to get to the top and work down from there to all the other components of the game. So yeah, that's what I've got today. Like I said, I'm going to be linking this in the description, and peace out.